Assalamu alaikum, class 9 students. Assalamu alaikum, class 9 students. Bete, as we know, we have started components of human food in our last lecture, okay, in which we have discussed about carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins in a detail, okay. Today we will discuss about page number 144, and now we will discuss about the minerals. And we all of know minerals play very important role in human body, and minerals are made by inorganic elements. So first of all, keep in your mind the difference between organic and inorganic foods or elements. Inorganic, which are without any chemical bonding, carbon and hydrogen bonding, and organic, in which carbon and hydrogen atoms are present. So Betty, can you listen my sound? Students, can you listen my sound?
जी ऐसे आवाज आ रही है।
Okay, okay, Betty. Okay. Okay, Betty. I was explaining you about minerals. Minerals are inorganic elements, okay, which are have not carbon and hydrogen atoms. We get them directly that originate in the earth and cannot be made in the body. What is the importance of inorganic minerals? They are originate in the earth, means they are started in the earth and cannot be made in body, and they are not made inside the body. Okay, so now we will discuss what is the role of minerals. So they play important roles in various body functions and are necessary to maintain health. So what is the role of minerals? They play important role in various body functions and are necessary to maintain health. For example, if we take an example of salt. Salt is a mineral. It is very important for our body because uh, it is an essential component of our blood. In our blood, the ratio of sugar and salt should be maintained. So, salt is a mineral. So, it plays very important role in various functions in our body and are necessary to maintain health. Or definitely, the normal quantity of sugar and salt can increase our health. It can maintain our health. Now we will discuss the sources. What are the sources of minerals? So most of the minerals in human diet come directly from plants and water. What is the importance? Most of the minerals in human diet come directly from plants. We get many different type of plants from plants and water, or indirectly from animal foods, or some minerals we get from animal food. So these are the sources of minerals. Now we'll discuss the types of minerals. Minerals are categorized into major and trace minerals. There are two types of minerals. One are called major minerals and the other are called trace minerals. So what is the difference between two? Major minerals are required in the amounts of 100 milligram or more per day. Major minerals required per day, its amount should be 100 milligram or more, while trace minerals are required in amounts less than 100 milligram per day. So which thing is required more? Major minerals are required more 100 milligram and more per day, and they are required in amount of 100 milligram per day. So the role of major and minor minerals in a human body are given in the following table. So now we will observe the table. What is the importance of major minerals and trace minerals? Before discussing it, we will discuss the side box which is given in your book. You can see on the nutritional label of a packaged food, the word calorie is equal to a kilocalorie. If you go to market, if you buy something, you can see on the package different nutritional values are written. So among them, a value is written on the nutritional label or label of a packaged food, the word calorie. This word calorie shows actually the word kilocalorie. Okay, so keep in your mind. Now we will discuss the types of minerals, major minerals and trace minerals, and how much quantity of these minerals are required in our body. So first we will discuss the major minerals. I have told you major minerals are those which are required 100 milligram or more per day. Okay, so first of all we will discuss the sodium. Sodium is a salt which is important part of our blood. So fluid balance in the body, it balance the fluid balance in our body and helps in absorption of other nutrients or or other nutrients which enters into our body. It helps in their absorption. Second is that potassium, fluid balance in the body. It also helps to balance the fluids in our body. Question is that from where these fluids come. I have told you in our body many systems work at the same time, and I have discussed this system in previous lecture, that we have also endocrine system inside our body. It consists of different glands, and every gland when it begins to work, it secretes some fluids into our blood. So the maintenance of that fluid balance in our body. For this purpose, our body needs potassium, our body needs sodium, act as cofactor for enzyme. We also discussed the definition of cofactor. These are the proteins which help to do the function of the enzyme. Actually, they are called transport protein. So act as cofactor for enzyme. And we also know in our body more than 2000 different types of enzymes work at a different times. So when the enzyme began to work, potassium work as a cofactor inside our body. Third one is chloride. It is also a type of major mineral. Fluid balance in the body. It also maintains the fluid balance. And secondly, component of hydrochloric acid. Now question is that where hydrochloric acid we can found in our body, because before that we have discussed that hydrochloric acid is an acid, and there are two other important acids which are called nitric acid and sulfuric acid, and these three acids are discovered by Jabir Hayyan, and we use these acids in our lab. But now we are talking about human body and human body and human food, and we are discussing that chloride. It is a component of hydrochloric acid. So I told you hydrochloric acid is naturally produced in our stomach, and it has very important function. When we take food inside our body, many germs are not seen by us. If they enters into our stomach, at that time hydrochloric acid naturally produced, and its function is that to kill that germs which are present on our food. So it's play a very important role. So chloride, it can found from hydrochloric acid. And if we see another column, this is the common thing in these three elements, sodium, potassium, and chloride. You can see important for muscle contraction. Yes, we also have discussed coordination and control. Okay, when we began to move, our body needs a muscle contraction. When we want to move, when we want to stay, sometimes our muscles contract, sometimes our muscles expand. So at that time, we need these three elements, sodium, potassium, and chloride. Now for nerve impulse transmission, I have told you, if you keep in your mind nervous system, that brain and spinal cord are the main organs of our nervous system. So when our receptors are our sense organ. For example, we want to see things, we use our eyes. If we want to touch, we use our hands. If we want to taste, we use our tongue. If we want to listen, we use our ear. So our receptors, when they feel something from their surrounding, they get the message and send to our brain. Then brain send back message to our spinal cord, and from our spinal cord nerves are arises which goes to relevant organ. So when this message comes to nerves, these nerve impulse began to vibrate and take message to relevant organs. So this process is called nerve impulse transmission. Then heart function, they are important for heart function. Definitely our heart have to do work all time, so it helps its functioning. And blood pressure, and we all of know that our body needs a normal blood pressure. If a blood pressure increase or decrease inside our body, it can cause of many other diseases. High blood pressure firstly can affect our kidney and heart functioning, and decrease of blood pressure can cause of dizziness and many other functions which cannot do properly. And this is also related to our enzyme working. In our chapter number 6, we have discussed in a detail that when we our enzyme have to work, they need a specific temperature. So if blood pressure is high, the working of enzyme will be stopped. If blood pressure is going to decrease, the working of enzyme definitely will be disturbed. So this is very important for muscle contraction. This is important for nerve impulse transmission, heart function, and blood pressure. I hope you understand that these three elements are very important. They play a very important role as a major mineral: sodium, potassium, and chloride. Now we will talk about calcium. Okay, calcium development and maintenance of bones and teeth. This is very important. Calcium, this is very important because it maintains our bones, it makes our bones strong. And we also know this thing that our bones have an ability to produce red and white blood cells in our body, and they store minerals inside. And the other important function of bones is that because they how they become strong, they can become strong because of the calcium. And our teeth, definitely our teeth also needs calcium to make themselves strong. So calcium play a very important role in the maintenance of bones and teeth. And the next one is calcium help in blood clotting. Blood clotting, what is that? Blood clotting means the freezing of blood. Sometimes we have cut on our body. For example, you are doing something, you have a cut with knife on your finger. The blood began to move from your body. So what did we do? Sometimes we put ice on it, and sometimes we press it firmly. What is happened? Due to that, after some time, after few seconds or after few minutes, you will see the blood has been stopped. It will not come outside the body. So this is called blood clotting, the freezing of the blood, because a clot is formed at that site which stops the bleeding. So this is very important. Underline in your book because this comes in your MCQs. That calcium help in which thing it helps in? It helps in blood clotting. Calcium help in development and maintenance of bones and teeth. Chloride help in fluid balance in the body. Potassium help in fluid balance in the body. Sodium help in fluid balance in the body. Okay, and the next part is magnesium and phosphorus. Development and maintenance of bones and teeth. So we all of know magnesium and phosphorus, they are also very important part of maintenance of our bones and teeth. So you can see magnesium, phosphorus, and calcium. These three elements help in maintenance of bones and teeth. So how much of their quantity is required per day? We require this quantity 100 milligram or more per day. Now we will discuss the trace minerals. I have told you trace minerals. So first is iron. It is required less than 100 milligram per day. Oxygen transport and storage. As we all of know, we inside our body, in our blood, there is a special chemical is present which is called hemoglobin. So iron helps to iron produce oxygen on hemoglobin, and oxygen is transported and storage in our blood. Second is zinc. aids insulin action. What is the importance of zinc? It is also because it helps the insulin action. What is insulin? I have told you that in our pancreas, two important hormones are produced. One is called insulin and other is called glucagon. The function of glucagon is that when there is a less amount of sugar is produced in our blood, at that time it can begin to produce and maintain the sugar level in our blood. But on the other side, if the level of sugar is increased in our blood, at that time insulin began to produce. Okay, so what is the importance of zinc? Zinc help to insulin to produce in the body to maintain the sugar level inside our body. If the working of insulin is disturbed due to any reason, because of that a person can become diabetic. Second important function is that helps in growth and reproduction. Definitely it help in growth, the human parts of the body, and help in reproduction. So iron and zinc collectively play another important role. What is that? Act as enzyme cofactor, support immune function. So this is very true. If you keep in your mind, zinc and iron, they both are very important because they act as enzyme cofactor because they help the enzyme activity and support immune function. This statement is very important nowadays because we all of know about the COVID-19 and because of that many people are engaged due to this disease. So you can listen iron and zinc. Okay, the medicines which the patients take during their this time period, they take these medicine. Esmox, it contains a lot of zinc and iron inside it, which the COVID patients are recommended. Okay, Azomox, so it has a lot of iron and zinc inside it. And why it is important? Because it helps to support your immune function. Immune function means that it maintains your body to attack against germs. So what is a COVID-19? It is a virus which enters in the body and directly attack on your immune system. So iron and zinc is very important because they act as enzyme activity, enzyme cofactors, and support your immune function. I hope you understand it. Now come to copper. Next is copper. Acts as enzyme cofactor. After that, next is chromium. Helps in insulin action. We also have discussed insulin action. Zinc also help in insulin action. Underline they are similar. And chromium also help in insulin action. So these questions can come in your MCQs in your board exams. Then next is fluoride. Stabilizes bone mineral and harden tooth enamel. Stabilizes bone mineral. It means fluoride maintain the storage of minerals in your bones properly and harden tooth enamel. Tooth enamel is the outer covering of our tooth. So it make them harder. Why enamel should be hardened? Because if it will be hard, then your teeth tooth will be protected. It will be safe. So important function of fluoride is that it stabilizes bone mineral. I have told you that our bones store many minerals inside their body. So it helps to storage minerals inside the body and harden tooth enamel. It means it made them hard. Next is iodine, essential for normal thyroid function. Thyroid function is a new thing for you. I have told you, as I discussed you, that we have endocrine system in our body, which consists of glands, and different glands work in our body, present on our different organs. So the glands which are present on in our neck, above our epiglottis, okay, they are called thyroid glands. And these thyroid glands is very important because when they are produced during our growing age, because of that the growth of person becomes normal. And if they are produced in our in excessive amount during your growth age. Because of that, a person can be go to gigantism. It means its hands, its feet, and its body becomes large. And if this hormone produced in less amount during your growth age, it can cause a dwarfism. Dwarfism means its body will not grow properly. So you can understand, and we have discussed many times that the lack of iodine in salt can cause of goiter. What is goiter? At that time, these thyroid glands which are present in our neck, in front of your neck, uh, above your epiglottis, so lack of iodine, they began to swell. And if they swell, uh, if they swell much, because of that, a person can caught by goiter. Because of their windpipe can be squeezed, and a person can go to death. So we can understand that every mineral is play a very important role inside our body. If the deficiency of any mineral inside our body can cause of many problems in our body. So first is iron, oxygen transport and storage. Zinc aids insulin action, help in growth and reproduction, and collectively they both work as enzyme cofactor and support our immune function. Third is copper, act as enzyme cofactor. Chromium helps in insulin action. Fluoride stabilizes bone mineral and harden tooth enamel. And iodine essential for normal thyroid function. Now come to next page. I hope you understand it. Now we will discuss the role of calcium and iron inside our body. Okay, what is the role of iron and calcium? So look at your book, role of calcium and iron. So first of all, we will see the box. Good calcium nutrition along with low salt and high potassium intake prevents from hypertension and kidney stones. This is very important according to nutritional values, according to nutrition. If you are taking good calcium and along with you are taking low salt, less salt and high potassium inside your body, if it is a part of your food, it can prevent, it can stop from hypertension, means high blood pressure, and kidney stone, and the formation of kidney stones which can produce in the kidney. It stops that function. So this is very important. Now we will discuss the role of calcium and iron in our body. First, we will discuss I will discuss with you in points the role of calcium and iron. Okay. So first is that calcium is essential for the development and maintenance of bones and teeth. Yes, we also have discussed in the table. It is important for the development and maintenance of bones and teeth. This is your first point importance. Second, second is it is also needed for maintaining cell membranes and connective tissues. Look at your book. It is also needed for maintaining cell membranes. I have told you we have different organs inside our body and they all have different membranes inside our body. So it has to maintaining cell membranes and connective tissues. I have told you that our all bones are made by connective tissues and for the activation of several enzymes. Okay. Next one is that it is also used for activation of several enzymes. This is number one. This is number two. And the third one is it helps in activation of several enzymes. Next point is that calcium also aids in blood clotting. We also discuss in the table because it helps in blood clotting. Okay. And now next point is that uh, human gets human get calcium from milk. These are the sources of calcium. Humans get calcium from milk, cheese, egg yolk, beans, nuts, cabbage, etc. So this is very important. These are the sources of your calcium. Okay, now we will discuss the deficiency of calcium. So deficiency of calcium causes spontaneous discharge of nerve impulse. It means if there is a lack of calcium inside our body. Because of that, the transmission of nerve impulse can be irregular. Spontaneous discharge can be irregular, which may result tetany. Okay, and bones also become soft. Blood clots slowly, and wounds heal slowly. The important function of calcium is that it helps in our wounds healing. Okay? If we have cuts on our body, it helps to wounds healing. So because of its deficiency, we can first it can disturb the irregular movements of nerve impulses. Because of that, it can tetany. Okay, tetany means all time the hands and feet are shivering. Okay, then bones also become soft. They become very soft. Blood clots become slowly. Definitely blood clots help to to stop the bleeding. Okay, so blood clots slowly, and wounds heals slowly. So this is the deficiency of calcium. So when you want to learn role of calcium and iron, first to make points number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, until blood clotting number 5. 5 points, they will tell us the role of calcium. Then you give the heading sources of calcium. These are the sources of calcium, and the third heading is deficiency of calcium. Okay, and then you tell about the nerve impulses. Bones become soft, blood clots slowly, and wounds heal slowly. So this is the role of calcium. Now we will discuss the role of iron. So role of iron plays a major role in oxygen transport and storage. We also discuss in our table. Iron plays Iron plays a major role in oxygen transport and storage. This is your first point. Second point is that it is a component of hemoglobin. I have told you hemoglobin is a chemical which is present on our red blood cells, and it has oxygen inside it. So it is a component of hemoglobin, iron in red blood cells, and myoglobin in muscle cells. So the substance which produce blood to our muscle cell, that is myoglobin. So iron is the important part of your hemoglobin present on red blood cells, and myoglobin which is present in your muscle cell. So they produce them oxygen and transport oxygen to them. Now third point is cellular energy production also requires iron. Definitely we also know about when a cell the cell is the origin of life. So when cell began to start divide, so what is happening when it start to divide? So at that time, for cellular energy, our body needs iron. So because of the mitosis and meiosis is happen inside our body. So cellular energy production also requires iron. Okay, and the next point is that it acts as it acts as cofactor for many enzyme of cellular respiration. So act as cofactor. Okay, and next point is that iron also support immune function. Yes, we also discussed in the table that it helps to support our immune function. Zinc and iron both are the special elements which help our immune function. Okay. Then humans get iron from, these are the sources of iron. Humans get iron from red meat. Okay, we can this from goat and sheep meat. Okay, egg yolk. Okay, whole wheat, fish, spinach, mustard, etc. And now we will discuss the deficiency of the iron. Its deficiency is the most common nutrient deficiency worldwide. Iron deficiency causes anemia. Anemia means lack of blood inside our body. I have I tell you that in our body there should be approximately 5 liter blood should be in our body. So if there is a lack, there is a deficiency for iron. So because of that, oxygen will not transport it to the blood, and because of that, the production of blood will be slow. So a person can be anemic. Anemic means there is a lack of blood in its body, and if there is a lack of blood inside body, so because of that, lack of red blood cells in the body. Okay, so what will be happen? So our each and every organ present inside our body cannot take proper oxygen. And if our body is not getting proper oxygen, so what will be happen? Definitely a person cannot survive and it can lead to cause of death. So you can see these are very important. If you want to learn them, make their points in your register or rough registers, or make points and on your sticky papers and pasted that papers on your page, because if you want to learn as a whole paragraph, it will be very difficult for you. But if you make its points and began to learn, it will be very easy for you. So iron plays first point, major role in oxygen transport and storage. This is your first point. Oxygen transport and storage. Second, it is a component of hemoglobin in red blood cells. I have told you it's a chemical present on red blood. Its important function is that to transport oxygen. And myoglobin in muscle cells. Definitely our muscle cells also required oxygen. And I have told you our bones produce red blood cells and white blood cells in the body. And definitely all bones are connected with muscle cell, and each and every muscle cell myoglobin is present. So its important function is there to transport oxygen to our muscle cells for our coordination and control. Third is cellular energy. We all of know respiration is happening inside of our body. At that time when we are not using our breathing energy, so our cells are respiring, give energy to our body. So for that function, our body requires iron. Number 4, it acts as cofactor for many enzymes of cellular respiration. During cellular respiration, it acts as a cofactor. I have told you which help to speed up the enzyme reaction. So it acts as cofactor for many enzymes of cellular respiration. Next is iron also supports immune function. I have told you immune function is that function which help us to kill unwanted germs in our body. If there is any virus or bacteria enters into our body, it stops them, it kills them automatically. So these are the sources of iron. We get them from red meat, make bullets. Number 1, red meat. Second, egg yolk. Third is whole wheat. Fourth is fish. Fifth is spinach. And sixth is mustard. Okay, and its deficiency is the most common nutrient deficiency worldwide. It can cause of anemia. Anemia means a person become anemia means a person become it has a lack of blood inside their body. So the lack of blood, it cannot get proper oxygen. So lack of oxygen, a person cannot survive, because in each and every cell in our body needs oxygen. Food work as a fuel in our body, and transportation of oxygen give energy to our body. So food and oxygen, these both are the important parts of our body. If our body is not getting these two things properly, we cannot survive. I hope you understand today's lecture, and you never feel any difficulty. But if you have any question, if you want to ask any question, raise your hand and you can ask me. And students, I want to tell you, from chapter number 8, I will not share short questions with you. You will mark short questions in your book yourself, and you will write your registers yourself. So the topic which we discuss in our class, after class, read the topic, underline the points, and write in your registers. From till chapter number 7, I have shared all short questions of your book and your exercise, but from chapter 8 and 9, you will make your short questions yourself. This is your responsibility. Is it clear? Hope you understand it.
Yes.
Now your lecture has been ended. If you want to ask any question, raise your hand. Thank you so much.